Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast with Mike and Jay. Shalom, Big E. Hello there, Jay. How are you?
Oh, just fine. Thank you for having me. Just trying to get me wits from last night.
Yeah.
Still trying to recover.
It's a little quiet in here, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's nice.
You like that?
Gotta
You like
be
that
honest.
better? Yeah.
Concentrate.
It's hard, isn't it? It just makes everything so much harder. No offense to anybody that comes in here.
Yeah, it was nice to see them, but if I'm voting, I'm maybe take some time off from in-studio visits here.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard because you find yourself like almost playing to an audience, which is difficult and not recommended. And then it happens every fucking time, dude. Every fucking time.
It doesn't, though. We've had people in here who are totally fine.
Well, for the most part.
It doesn't happen every time.
Not every time.
It happens. What you're about to describe happens
Yeah.
because they drink about 18 beers.
I know. It's like that with all of us. It's like, I'm going to go out to the bar. I'm going to be cool, collected,
Just gonna
and then
chill.
Just go out, have a couple cocktails, maybe catch Monday Night Football, and then call it a night. Got to work early tomorrow. And then next thing you know, you're like dancing on a table.
It was Sunday night, for God's sakes.
Oh, I know.
These
And
people have jobs?
and I think a lot of people have been there where you find yourself going from from A to B. Now you're dancing on top of a table, like with your shirt off, going woo as you're whipping it around. And it's like, how did we get here? And that's kind of how it ends a lot of times here. And I get it, dude. It's exciting for them to pop in here and be a part of things.
It's got to be exciting for them.
Oh, of course it is. I mean, look at this place. But no, it is for fans of this show or listeners. It's
Well, I'll tell you, the
cool.
people who weren't here did not appreciate it much.
Yeah, that's the other side.
So for the four
to that.
people who are here, wow, they love it. For the thousands out there, however, who
Mm-hmm.
are trying to listen through a show,
That is a really hard concept to get around people's heads. Like, because I don't blame them. They come in here and it looks like they're sitting in a room with three guys, and it's like 7 people are sitting here. But yeah, you forget about all the people listening that don't want to hear you.
got a few emails on this subject, Mike, already today.
No. Who's getting pounded?
I'm not going to go into depth, but I will read a select few.
I will say 3 of the guests were actually very, very well.
Oh no, none of
contained.
these emails are good. None of these emails are good.
See, I didn't think Valerie or Dan or Jay. It was, Joel, and God bless him. I love Joel. Joel is a friend of the show, but he gets a little hammered and has a little fun, gets a little vocal, and
Let's
then
start
starts
with Joel.
talking to E.
Here's
boy.
part of Mike's email, real quick, about Joel.
Not this Mike.
No, different Mike. In studio guest Joel. Be honest, is he one of the biggest douchebags you've ever met? One of the tallest, yeah, I'd say so.
Tallest
I'm
douchebag
not
you've
sure
ever
I've
met,
ever
or
met.
just
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever met a taller douchebag.
yeah. That's a fair point.
Biggest? No, he's pretty thin.
Yeah, he's very thin. Yep.
KC writes in, Chubb, Hub, and Stub, glad to see you got Dave and Chuck the Freak in studio during poem number 87. Hopefully they'll learn a thing or two. Are they referring to the laughter, maybe?
Oh, maybe.
The laugh track we had going?
Valerie's laugh was cracking me up, actually. I was laughing at her laugh. And the snort.
With love, KC. But here's some wisdom that I think listener Jim imparts.
Okay.
Jim's a longtime favorite of the show, great guy. He's actually been in here a couple times
Okay.
on Kickstarter and then just another visit that he and his brother, I think, paid for, which is great.
Yep.
Podfathers, I have to do a little shit stirring here. My grievance is in-studio guests. Case in point, I submit episode 887 as a 2-time studio guest. The goal is a repeat invite. I know I'm busting balls and one vagine and my fellow monsters, and I will likely get called out more than a pussy or an old man, but come on, man. Follow these simple steps to success. Remember, number 1, and I emphasize, remember, you are not part of the show!
Oh, no.
Number 2, laugh and have a good time, but don't become a better laugh track drop than Dave and Chuck the Freak. Sit the fuck down and don't become a distraction by displaying your IQ while being that dude in the background of a live camera feed. Great show, guys. Hope to see all of the Detroit cast, including these monsters, at an upcoming event. So Jim means no offense. He's just imparting wisdom.
He's trying to help.
He's trying to help.
It's true. When everyone started booing, I knew
I kind of like the booing thing.
Yeah,
Whenever E talks, we boo. I could adopt that one.
Yeah, it was funny. It was funny.
Talk. E, how are you?
Doing fine.
Yeah, that's got
It
legs.
is fun.
Yeah.
It is fun. But it's got to be more subtle. And maybe he's got to say something dumb, which, it's going to happen before you start booing. I knew once the boo started raining down that it was like, okay, well, we're going to have a bunch of email in the morning. I just knew that was coming. And then, of course, the thing didn't post properly, and it was just a fucking nightmare.
Oh, yeah, it was. We were up late last night.
Yeah, we were, and we're tired today. And
Tired and we're cranky, so don't fuck with us.
Mess with us, you jerks.
Hey, August, it's almost over. Sadly, our friends at Zotford and Holly haven't sold enough vehicles. They need your help. Now until Tuesday, September 5th, Zotford has some super summer closeouts way too hot to pass up. 1, lease a new 17 Ford Taurus for just $127 a month. 2, lease a new 17 Ford Edge for just $176 a month. 3, Zotford will pay you $500 more for your trade-in, period. Surf their dogmatic deals and massive inventory at dealsinthed.com.
You guys want to air some grievances or go through the book?
The book, you're referring to the book, which
Yeah.
is by Mick Wall, Last of the Giants, The True Story of Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
How would you like to go through the book, Mike?
All right, let's go through the book. Now, I want to be clear. I've got Mick Wall's last book around GNR. It's called War, W. Axl Rose.
Right.
And I've read Steven Adler's mom's book, and I think I've read parts of Slash's book. So I'm one of those guys that was like, when this book came in, I love Mick Wall, but I was like, I feel like I know Guns N' Roses a lot. I've read a lot of shit on them. I feel like I know Guns N' Roses. I didn't know shit.
Mick Wall, of course, is referenced in Get in the Ring.
Yep.
During the list of Axl's people that he wants to fuck up.
Yeah, that he wants to fight.
Mick Wall of
Kerrang. Yeah, which one is that on? Is that on the blue one or that's on the blue one?
Illusion 2.
Which one's your favorite, yellow or blue?
I'm kind of partial. I've always been partial to yellow, number 1.
Yeah.
And I know 2 sold better.
Did it?
Yeah, 2.
Who buys one without the other?
I know.
That seems insane, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, but I'd always been partial to 1. I'm not sure exactly why. I'd have to have them in front of me and go through one by one. But I don't think anybody wants to hear me do that.
You've got, I believe,
No,
Don't
don't
Cry
do
on
this.
one
Don't
and
guess.
November Rain.
Don't Cry is on 2, too. Don't do this.
I understand that.
Don't try to go through it without the listing up. We
14
don't have a producer who can put up
Beating a dead horse. It's on one.
Yeah.
There's a lot of The Garden. Coma. I love Coma.
Coma may be what tips 1 for me.
Yeah. It's a
Coma's
great,
awesome.
great song, man.
I couldn't believe they played Coma at their last their last tour.
Insane.
Yeah.
It's a killer song. So anyway, we're looking forward to Mick. We're pretty much agreed. We've been in contact with him, and sounds like he'll be on, and I'm really excited for that. But there are so many stories.
This is
in
so
this
chock
book.
full. There's no way during an interview with Mick that we'll be able to touch on barely any of these.
Not
honestly.
even close.
This is such. I'm like you, dude. I kind of thought I knew the story. I hadn't read many books about GNR, but just being a big fan, I thought I kind of knew the story.
Yeah.
There's so much behind the scenes shit, and you don't realize how just fucked up they were from the beginning, man.
Well, it's hard for normal people to comprehend. And we've all heard debauchery stories, from Led Zeppelin and whatever in the hotel room with the fish,
The mud shark.
The mud shark story, yeah, that Carmina Peace told, and the dirt from Motley Crue, and the debauchery of it all. But you don't even, it's hard to grasp the level because most of us have someone to answer to. We have, at the end of the day, you can't just be an absolute destructive menace to every aspect of your life and have people that are still like, yeah, okay, well, we need him. So
Yeah.
and that's the story with this band, and it's
Well, the thing about these dudes too is they were basically homeless heroin addicts before the band even got together.
Yeah.
Usually that happens after.
Yeah.
You get into the drugs as you're touring around and you got the money, but these guys were just fuck ups before.
which plays out in weird ways because like it's almost worse for them because they go out and all of a sudden appetite explodes, and it's now it's sold 3 million copies, 5 million copies, 8 million. I think it had sold 3 million, but they still hadn't gotten a check yet.
Yeah.
And so they come back home from LA and they're given like $850,000 each, the first check of many. And it's like they're home now, they're humongous stars. So it's not like they can just go down to the rat hole bar they used to. like they used to love doing. You know, they would just go and duck into some seedy bar, and it's like now everybody wants a piece of them and a picture in their time.
Yeah, they
And
were
so
literally living in a garage together, like shitting
Yeah.
in boxes and throwing it behind
Yeah.
the garage.
rats. They were
Yeah.
human rats, and now you give them this money, and it's like, well, I guess we're supposed to buy big houses. What are big houses over there? And so they go and they buy big houses, but they don't have furniture.
Yeah.
They don't have anything, and so now they're stuck in these like.
They just shoot up in a bigger room
Yeah.
with nicer carpet.
And they don't feel like they fit in at all because they're on the other side of the tracks now. They're from the seedy underbelly, and now they're in like Bel Air, and it's like, well, all right, I'll just sit here and shoot up all night alone. And it's just like you can see that how that would happen though.
Spiraling into oblivion one by one.
I guess I gotta go buy a Ferrari now. It's just so funny, but I thought it'd be fun to like talk about a couple of stories in this book.
Yeah.
So Jay, have you picked a couple stories?
Dude, one guy I that's always interested me is Izzy, because he's sort of the glue guy. He's a guy that
Yeah.
doesn't get a ton of pub. The rhythm guitarist. You
Yeah.
know, a lot of those guys just like to be in the background. He's hugely important to the writing of these songs.
Yeah.
He was hugely important to getting Axl even out to L.A. They both grew up in the same Indiana town,
Mm-hmm.
and Izzy went first to L.A. Axl came a year later, and they hooked up later on. But this dude is just he was a heroin junkie.
But you don't hear many bad things about Izzy. Like Izzy left the band because he didn't want to be a rock star, I think.
Yeah.
And then that's you don't
No,
really.
this book goes pretty much up to the month. You know, I mean, this got released a couple months ago, and so it covers
July 18th, I believe.
It covers their whole, their whole 2016 tour
Yeah.
that we saw, and what they're planning to do in 17. And he did try to get a hold of Izzy and get his take on it, and Izzy's just chilling, man.
Really?
Yeah, he's just right now not interested in taking part at all.
Wow.
And just chilling, making the music he wants to make.
Is he married or kids?
I don't think he's married.
Really? That's so weird. You would think after 20 years, like, what couldn't settle after 20 years?
Yeah.
You know?
But one of my favorite Izzy stories in here, of course, he's, coke-fueled paranoia. He's a heroin junkie. And as Mike mentioned, they each get like 850 grand checks, like off the bat, for their first royalties from Appetite.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just, he starts nitpicking the finances of it. He's sitting in a dark apartment with pizza boxes everywhere, shooting up and just going, dude, I think from merch we should have another $1 million. I mean, I think
missing.
There's like a missing $1 million. And so he gets with the manager and he's explaining all this. The manager figures out, oh yeah, that was $1 million that was going into escrow. Good eye, Izzy, but don't worry, that comes out as we sell more and this and that.
All
So-
we need to do is book a few more dates, and then that
Yeah.
goes from escrow to our account.
But of course, reason is thrown out the window with this guy, and so he starts getting really paranoid about it. So he decides to go to his bank and withdraw the 850 grand that he just got and put it in a cashier check and take it with him. And the manager, Alan Niven, gets word of this through the accountant. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you ought to know, Izzy just withdrew his entire bank account.
Yeah, I think he says, "Hey, have you? Do you know where Izzy is? Do you know Izzy's in New York?" And he goes, "Yeah, he's doing really good. He's
Yeah.
writing new material with Axl,
He's
like a
promised
good
to start
boy."
writing with Axl. They're out there. They're done with Appetite at this point. They're looking on to their next thing, and perhaps a change in environment would bring about a change of attitude. Then Feldstein dropped the bomb. Did you know he took all the money out of the bank? What the fuck? Feldstein sounded nervous. Told Alan all he knew was that Izzy kept going on about $1 million being lost. Then he took all his money out of his City National Bank account. Oh my God, said Niven. In cash? How much did he have available? It's well over $750,000, said Feldstein, and it's in a cashier's check, a banker's draft. Oh shit, you mean if he loses that check, he loses $750,000? That's pretty much the case.
It's basically cash.
Yeah, it's basically cash. So Niven, it's a touchy situation because you got this really paranoid dude.
Yeah.
They can't afford to have him leave the band.
Paranoid to a level, Jay, that he's got his windows are tinfoiled over,
Yes.
so that government rays can't get in,
To
or the
reflect
sun.
the government raise. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got Geico's on his phone, and he's got triple locks on his doors, and anybody that comes to his house has to have a certain secret knock before he'll answer the
Yeah.
door. Like that's the level of paranoia you're talking
And
about.
this guy is key to the band. Again, he's not just a rhythm guitarist. He is
Yeah.
a key songwriter. And so Alan Niven is just, treading really carefully with this. So he finds where Izzy is in New York and goes and sees him and kind of has this uncomfortable meeting with him. And he's like, hey, is that true? He doesn't want to freak him out.
Yeah.
But is it true you took the money out? He's like, yeah, it is. And, and by the time Niven gets to him, he's calmed down about the money. And he says, actually, Niv, I've got it right here. His head disappeared under the table. He'd hidden it in his sock. He yanked it out and dropped the check on the table. Want to take care of it for me and put it back in the bank, said Izzy. Niven's like, yes, I do.
I'll do that.
But at the same time, they're in New York about to go to New Orleans, and so Niven's got this $750,000
Yeah.
that he has to then tuck into his sock and get back to the bank. But, dude, I mean, that just screams rock and roll decadence right there, man.
Yeah, it's an incredible. You know, when you read these stories, it's like they have no business having. They've never had anything like it. They don't know what to do with it, and so yeah, it's insane, dude. It's just insane. I've got one of the stories here, as they're on tour, I believe on the Aerosmith tour, and Alan Niven. You mentioned Alan. Alan Niven is their manager, and Doug Goldstein's their tour manager, I believe.
And they're just trying to keep these guys alive, essentially.
Yeah, keep things on track. Keep a hold of them because they scatter. They'll be in a city and it's just like, where's Steven? And it turns out he's in just some shithole, wasted.
Yeah.
You know, and so they're in their tour bus, and these guys figure better to keep them on the road where the bus is moving every day. It's going somewhere. Like you go to L.A. and they scatter like rats, and good luck finding them.
Right.
And so they decide, let's keep them on the road.
It's funny because it's before cell phones, obviously, and all this stuff. So think about
Not that these guys would have answered them.
Right, I know, but it's even easier at that point in those times, obviously, to scatter, I guess.
Well, so Doug Goldstein's talking about the tour. And
Doug Goldstein is the tour manager.
Tour manager, yes, and Alan Niven is the manager,
Business
the
manager.
Band manager. And so Goldstein is talking about this Aerosmith tour, and he's like, the bus is about to pull up to this hotel, and he gets a call, or as he walks in, they say, yeah, sorry, we're out of rooms. We don't have rooms for you guys. And he's like, that's fine. Go grab Vanessa, your manager, and Vanessa comes up and he says, you know, just want to let you know that's cool, but we're going to take our bus over to your house personally, where you are now going to have 12 guys sleeping in your house. And she's just like, oh, shit. And so she goes to the back and she sends out the muscle of the group. You know, this big Italian guy comes out and he says something like, he leans over, he leans over the counter. He says, who's Goldstein? And so the tour manager, Doug Goldstein's like, oh, all right, we're going there already. And this guy, he says, look, we're going to get your rooms at 3 o'clock. You got a fucking problem with that? And he says, I don't know what it is about me, but sometimes I snap, and when I snap, I really do. So I grab the guy by the fucking tie and pull him halfway across the counter. He tries to reach for the phone, so I tighten up the grip, and he's now turning purple on me. I go, you're going to fucking die before you get a hold of the cops. I suggest you get your fat Guido ass back there and get my goddamn keys. Turning to one of the band's security teams, Todd, Doug goes, Go get Slash, put him on a luggage trolley, and get him up here now. He goes, what? I said, just fucking do what I said.
Picture that son of a bitch with his hair and his top hat, probably a bottle of Jack.
So he goes, he brings Slash, who's obviously passed out. He's literally upside down in that his head's on the ground and the bottom of the luggage rack. His legs are dangling over the top of it. He still has the bottle of Jack in his hand.
Nice.
So this guy comes wheeling with his pants down, Slash like this. He says, and he right up next to me at the front desk, there's like 50 people waiting to get into the rooms. The GM of the hotel comes and goes, hey, he's got to get out of here. I go, you know what? He's going to get out of here the second I have a fucking room to put him in. Until then, he's your new furniture. Needless to say, about 2 minutes later, I had my keys. So I put Slash over my shoulder, and we go to the elevator, and I'm riding up with 8 guys in business suits. Slash starts pissing down my back. I was like, motherfucker.
That's awesome.
I drop him on the ground, and the guy and these guys are laughing at me. I turn around and go, what? He goes, look, man, I don't want to get pissed off. You get pissed off at me, but I've been watching you since you walked into the hotel. I don't know what they're paying you, but it can't even be remotely enough for what the hell you have to put up with. The elevator door opens up, and I go, yeah, thanks for the observation. And he literally just drags Slash to his hotel room by his hair because he doesn't want to grab his pants that he's pissed in. Ugh, how awesome is that?
Dude, down the road a little bit, and we read the Adler book, the Deanna Adler book,
Yeah.
and we interviewed her, and she talked about just the extent that Steven was in terms of his drug use. Dude was bad. I mean, he was bad from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, Goldstein, the same guy who just carried Slash to his room, he takes Steven out to Arizona to detox. He's
Sure.
thinking, I'll take him to one of these golf resorts, get him away from L.A., get him away from the drug scene, help him detox. So we get on a plane, we get out there for about 4 days, says Goldstein, and Stevie's sleeping until like 3 in the afternoon. So I said, look, I'm going to go golf in the morning. Steven goes, yeah, I'll just sleep in. So leave the hotel at like 5:30 in the morning, and it's about maybe 8, and I make my first birdie of the day. It's hole 9, and this marshal pulls up and says, "Is there a Goldstein in the group? You need to call the office." I call the office, and Niven picks up. He goes, "Where the fuck are you?" I go, "I'm golfing." "Why?" "Slash is on his way to jail." I go, "You're in L.A. Go fucking bail him out." He goes, "He's in Arizona at your hotel, you dumbass." So he thought he had Steven. Slash is now there.
Yeah.
Unbeknownst to Doug Goldstein, Steven, unable to bear the gnawing pangs of heroin withdrawal any longer, had phoned Slash in L.A. the night before, begging him to bring some junk and come out and we'll party here. This is detox.
Yeah,
Panicked.
he's in detox.
Panicked, Goldstein jumped into his golf cart and drove as fast as he could back to the hotel. When he pulled up, he says, there's maybe 10 cop cars, an ambulance, a fire engine, and about 200 people in a circle. Wading his way through the crowd, he saw Slash standing there stark naked and bloody. I'm like, oh no, this ain't good. Slash goes, "Dougie, I was in the shower, right? I looked through the keyhole, and these guys were shooting guns at me. But they don't shoot bullets. They're shooting arrows. The arrows are going like ping, bang, ping." I was like, oh my God. One of the cops who's standing next to him goes, "Hey, Slash, give him a physical description." Slash goes, "Okay, so the tall one, he was like 4 feet 8 inches, and he's wearing like an AC/DC t-shirt." Blah, blah, blah. So he ends up saying, "They're shooting arrows at me." So I said, "Fuck, I'm going to kick their asses." So I broke through the shower door, broke through the bathroom door, then started counting the arrows in my head. Then these fuckers outran me, but then some bitch comes up to me speaking in tongues. So I fucking knocked her out and threw her on the ground. It was the maid. She was speaking Spanish.
She's speaking in tongues.
So basically, Goldstein, who travels with like $50,000 in cash at this point, has to retrieve the money and just start paying people off, including the maid, including the hotel manager. And the cops are just looking at this and they're like, you know what? If get him out of here right now, or we'll do it for you. And the whole time, Steven, who's the guy who's supposed to be detoxing, is standing on the balcony yelling, "Stupid junkie! Stupid junkie!"
Down at Slash.
What a scene,
He's
man.
heckling. He's heckling Slash. I love it because all these people are standing around, and just imagine that. You have to carry a briefcase with $50,000 cash everywhere you go just because you know at some point one of these fucking assholes is going to do something to someone you have to pay off. And I love that it's in front of the cops.
Oh,
and he's going person to person like, "So, how much is your weekly salary? $600?
Well, here's $2,000.
Here's $2,000. Oh, that's great." And so he's doing this to everybody. He's like, "Well, that's probably $800 worth of damage." "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say $3,000 worth of damage?" "Well, here you go. That ought to cover it." And then he turns to the cops. He goes, "I don't think anyone's going to be wanting to press charges or give a statement." And the cops are like, "Get him out of here." Oh, it's just awesome. And the level of like, first off, I think people will get a newfound respect for Axl Rose in some ways in this book. Like,
I agree, man. Like, I always kind of thought he was like 90% the problem.
Yeah, prima donna.
Yeah, but what you find in this book is these other guys are just so strung out, and Axl's kind of trying to move. Not that he's not a fuck up too.
Yeah.
But he's trying to move things forward at least.
Yeah.
And he definitely had a different vision than the others on how to move forward and what creatively that should look like.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't do it in a nice way. But you're right. I think I have more respect for him after reading it because at least he was trying to go and not just sit around and shoot up.
Yeah, and it would be terribly frustrating to try to deal with that, where guys are not where they say they're going to be, or they're unable to perform properly. And if you're a perfectionist and you're dealing with this, and Steven Adler's not a great drummer to begin with,
Yeah.
you just don't have the, it's weird.
You have the wiggle room there, Steven.
So, anyways, I get. I was reading another part in here, which I thought was funny because Axl does have a history of just not showing the things, and this goes back. I had no idea. This goes back to before they were signed.
I know.
Like they're packing. Think about that. They're nobody yet. They're able to sell out the Troubadour and the whiskey at a couple hundred bodies.
That had to be partly an anxiety thing at that point.
Yeah.
I think it obviously became a control thing.
Mm-hmm.
But before you're even signed and making the cash, that had to be like a stage fright or something playing a part in that.
And when you're about to get signed, like, he doesn't give a fuck, dude. They're on the verge of being signed, and the manager's like, "Okay, I just want to go see them," and it's like he just doesn't show up to the gig. And so, like, all right, twice he does that, where he just doesn't show
They
up.
send a roadie out to sing a couple of the songs, and they cover a couple of a couple Led Zeppelin tunes, and they're gone.
It's just like, what are you doing, dude? So anyway, this goes on. I mean, obviously, we ran into this on the tour we were on, where he doesn't show up, and there's a riot in St. Louis. Well, they had gotten this offer to open for the Rolling Stones, and they were all huge Stones fans, huge. And this is at the LA Coliseum, 77,000 people. And
Easy money, too.
Yeah.
Niven had negotiated a great deal for him that was paying him like double or triple what they would normally get at this point for a gig.
Well, most people looked at it as just a high honor. You know, the Stones had never heard of anybody not leaping at the chance to open for them. It's just, it is what it is. It's rock and roll royalty. And so they're just like, Alan Niven's like, yeah, nah, we're not interested in paying for $50,000 a night. And so they're like, what? No one turns down the Stones. Are you kidding me? This is coming directly from Mick. And so a couple weeks go by and they're like, all right, $250,000. And he's like, no, I'll pass. And then, so finally he's like, $1 million. We want $1 million. We'll do 4 nights opening for you at the Coliseum. Fine. They finally sign off, and so GNR is going to open it. And so all of a sudden, Izzy Stradlin, day of show, gets a call. It's Axl. Hey man, I'm quitting the band. And Izzy goes, and Izzy, who's heard this 1,000 times, just like, yeah, cool, man. All right. Well, see you later. and Izzy goes to, like, they've got rehearsal before the show. You know, they got a run through to do. They got to meet with Mick and Keith.
Keith's like, where's your fucking singer?
Where's your fucking singer? And nobody knows. And Izzy doesn't say anything to anybody. He gets there and he sees their tour manager. He's like, well, this ought to be an interesting 4 nights, and just keeps walking and goes about his day. And so now they're like, where's Axl? He should have been here by now. And Izzy's still not saying a word. And nobody's saying anything. All of a sudden, like, the opening band is going on now. Who was
Living Colour?
Living Colour, yeah. Living Colour goes on, and
Cult of Personality.
And this is in the heat of the dust up from 1 in a Million.
Yes.
You know, the lyrics with the N-word in it, and faggot they said in it. And so, you know, you've got Living Colour with 3 black guys in the band, and you know, that becomes an issue. But besides that, so all of a sudden this band's on, and Guns N' Roses needs to be on the stage in about an hour, and Axl's nowhere. And so Alan Niven, he turns to the Stones production chief, Brian Ahern, and asks, hey, Brian, do you have a real solid contact in the LAPD, a genuine no questions asked kind of guy? He answers, I'll send him in. Without another word, he made the call, cool and completely without confusion or stress. Brian's an exceptional individual, and I will forever appreciate his calm and his confidence. So I spoke with his contact. Within minutes, a black and white containing a reliable pair of uniformed cops pulls up at the Shoreham Towers where Axl lives, and they go up to the 12th floor, and they literally just, like, push the door open, grab him, drag him downstairs, throw him in the cop car. Axl's on fire, fucking pissed. And they're like, fuck you, dude. And they just drive him. They got cherries going, and they cut off all the L.A. traffic. You can imagine going to a show at the L.A. Forum. And they drive, and they pull up right at the stage door entrance and, like, throw him out of the car. And he's just like...
mean as a snake.
He's a cornered rattlesnake, and he's fucking on fire. And they're like, whatever, dude. Get on stage. And he did. I'm just laughing so hard. Like, hey, you got someone...
ridiculous.
No questions asked. We'll do something.
He's just laying there watching TV. Cops bust his door down.
Oh, it's just incredible, man. Like, the gall, the nerve. It's amazing. But that's just a couple stories from this book, man. And
it's chock full. If you're a GNR fan, you'll love it. Even if you don't know much about them, it's entertaining as hell.
Mm-hmm. It's sad, but it's got some redemption and all that stuff. I'm not even finished with it. I'm not even looking forward to finishing it because I'm having so much fun reading it.
It's amazing what a short period their heyday was. You know,
incredible.
Just a short 4 years or so.
Yeah. Yep.
That's all they had in them.
Yep. What did Appetite end up selling? 30 million, 50 million?
I'm not sure, dude.
It's outrageous the number of albums that thing continues to sell.
And here we are at the 30th anniversary.
Yeah. Ugh, madness. Did you want to do a read?
I do. A comprehensive financial plan is the roadmap that can give you the confidence to know that you are on the right financial path. Be one of the first 10 listeners to call Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial for a free comprehensive financial plan and make sure you are on the right path. Call 248-626-2000 and ask for Mark. Did you have something you wanted to add to that read? I think you did.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor, member FINRA SIPC. That's a legal thing there, guys. You can't be booing that.
Yeah, that's a good point, E. Looks like 30 million and counting for Appetite. Yeah. It was one of those generation-defining albums.
Awesome.
It's a masterpiece.
Every track on there is beautifully done.
You know, just out of curiosity, I know you love Guns N' Roses. Might be one of your favorite bands. I know it's one of your favorite bands. What is your impression of Axl's voice? Like, when you hear him, it's such a unique, distinct voice. Do you think
mean now when I heard him
no,
on tour
like,
of the
just in general, like.
It's obviously not a classically trained great voice, but the dude hits like 8 different octaves, you know?
I had no idea how good it was. I started listening more closely. Dude, it's better than you think.
It's the shriek. I mean, I can understand why my mom would listen to that and go, "Oh my God, that guy's voice is horrible." He's a great rock singer. Are you kidding me? He's one of the best. One of the best frontmen of all time.
Yeah. Well, I started listening to some vocal-only tracks of his, and they're incredible, dude. The bottom end and the high end, he can sing like a woman, and you wouldn't even know it and be in key, dude. It's crazy how talented that guy really, truly was and is.
Man, I didn't think he'd have much left coming back last year as he did, and then playing with AC/DC too. It's like, don't tempt fate, dude.
Yeah.
Those vocal cords, they can't have much left in them.
I think he said he can do 2 nights. And then it's like, okay, I got to take a couple nights off. His voice will give him 2 nights.
But they're going to be at Little Caesars, I believe, November 8th, November 2nd, something like that.
Yeah, we should go to that.
Yeah, we should.
I want to go to that. I want to see that new stadium. And well, we've put it off long enough, Jay. I really don't know what else there is to say about what's going on in Texas right now.
It's awful. It's brutal.
It is unreal, man. Hurricane Harvey is what we're talking about, and it sounds like it's just going to keep hanging out there, but it's not looking good, man. Thousands of people trapped on rooftops, desperately pleading for help, as they've left America's 4th largest city basically underwater. The storm has already dumped 11 trillion, gallons of water on Texas. Another 27 inches of rain falling so far this weekend, and 23 inches expected to come within the next few days. Experts said the hurricane could equal the level of destruction of Katrina in 2005. Can you believe that? Everyone's so
Gulf
poor,
states,
so
man.
black. You know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, I can't. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
So many of these people, almost all of them that we see, are so poor and they are so black.
Yeah, that's right. FEMA revealed it would take years to recover from this. The Houston Police Department made a call for volunteers on Twitter, asking people with boats to call a number and help the department out. I mean, that's the level we're at right now.
Wow.
The National Weather Service issued a forecast saying the city would get as much as 50 inches more, which would be the highest amount ever recorded in Texas. Houston's Mayor Sylvester Turner said that as of 5 p.m. Sunday, the police and fire had received nearly 6,000 calls for rescue. They've got 22 aircraft up in the air, looking for people stranded on roofs. And the Texas governor, what's his name, Greg Abbott, he's been trying to get a hold of the mayor and can't. Apparently, he's not getting return phone calls. Phone service is tough. Mm-hmm. The president was tweeting from Camp David, saying where he was spending the weekend. He said, good news, there was a lot of talent on the ground. Congratulated all the levels of government for its strong response. I am hearing good things, actually. Like across the board, people are really impressed with how he's jumped in and taken this serious, this event. And,
they'll find an angle, I'm sure.
Yeah, you're probably right. He's planning to visit tomorrow. I don't know if that's a good idea. If they're still in as deep a shit as they are, maybe you put that off. But he continued to...
what does a presidential visit do to a place like that? Like,
is it motivation? I don't... Did Texas
boy,
even
I'm going to
vote
work
for him?
harder because the president came down here. Boy, that's inspiring.
Yeah, that must have really meant something back in the day.
Back in the day when you could like rally the volunteers and that sort of thing probably meant something. And then for him to also be able to see it and take back that vision back to D.C. and then enact whatever they had to enact to get the aid. Yeah. That's already been done. You know, it's already been declared a disaster. You don't need to have him on the ground to know how bad it is.
Mm-hmm. And it's
like, what is it symbolically? What these days? What does it do?
I don't understand the symbolism in a lot of things in politics that we do. You know, like we just don't have the need to hit every state and travel around the country campaigning like we have. No, we have fucking 24-hour news cycles now.
I'd rather save the $500,000 that we're going to spend on jet fuel and helicopter fuel that he's going to expend going and doing that. I don't know. And
the countless agents that have to go with him. I mean, how do you even safely do your sweep an area that's in a disaster like that? I don't know. But they all do it, and I guess he'd be... Could you imagine if he didn't? If he just went, I want to be out of the way, I don't want to cause... People would be like, how dare you? How unpresidential? They'd be all over him.
Well, I know we have a lot of Texas listeners, and So thoughts and prayers. One in particular, Joe writes in from Houston.
Really?
Hey, podcast heroes, just writing in from Houston, Texas, to say that it is pretty fucked up down here. There is some massive destruction from flooding going on, and even a few deaths. I guess there was a kid swimming in a ditch who got sucked into oblivion. What that's about. Plus, there are alligators and snakes making their way into places they shouldn't. Dude, I forgot about the dinosaurs.
Yes.
I mean, they're right there by Louisiana.
Yeah. There's a lady that took a picture out her door. It's like all flooded, like her whole, like the street is
There's
all.
a gator, a
and there's just a
dinosaur.
gator there, and then she looks over and there's one on the porch in the water.
Oh. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised to see some sharks swimming through downtown soon, says Joe.
What?
Dude, we know how sharks and natural disasters go.
Yeah.
Sharknado. Do not say this is a flood situation with sharks. Sharks and alligators.
There's people that are fishing in their living rooms. I'm not kidding. Some guy was fishing in his living room because in his living room there's a couple fish. Just making the best of it.
Please keep Southeast Texas in your thoughts and prayers and keep putting out content because I'm stuck in my house for a week. Goodbye, BUI Joe.
How are they even getting a
I don't
charge?
have
You know
no
what I mean?
idea.
Like, I would think
It's amazing that he has any sort of internet or email capacity.
Well, most of them don't. Yeah, it's nuts. And then, sorry, excuse me. To make things worse, the Army has started releasing water from 2 Houston dams now in a desperate effort to stop them from overflowing. The Addicks and the Barker reservoirs are both nearly full because of all the rain they've gotten. If they fall, the water they hold will rush over this already flooded city in an uncontrolled wave, an unthinkable scenario for a city that is already largely underwater. And
It's
so,
probably like the worst spectacle, disaster at any event I can think of.
Could be.
to avert this disaster, officials began draining them slowly Sunday night. Water is being released at a rate of 2,600 cubic feet, so you can get a good picture of what that is.
Get a good sense of it.
Per second from Atticus and 2,000 cubic feet from Barker. They will gradually increase the speed to 8,000 per each as the day goes on. The rising floodwaters at Buffalo Bayou and Houston, Texas, so that they're saying the water is going to rise around that area. The water level there will rise by another 4 to 6 inches per hour as water drains from these, as they release these dams. It will immediately flood all of the roads in the surrounding area. If they don't release the water, then it will be forced. If they don't release the water, then it will be forced, and the situation would be exponentially worse. So this is the gradual release that they're doing.
God, it'd be hard to get your head around just slowly losing everything, in terms of material possession.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I guess this is all gone. Let's see if we can get into the car and somehow get into a boat or whatever, get it on high ground somehow.
It's just crazy.
Put the photo albums on the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what you do because I don't think they called for an evacuation of that city originally, and they're standing by that decision, saying that had we had a mass evacuation of a city this size, it would have caused even more problems. And so they're dealing with this now, but
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the hurricane initially hitting that caused the big problem, right? It was the damn thing sitting over the city for 3 days now.
Yep.
There's a guy catching a fish in his living room. Guess you have to have a sense of humor at some point, right?
yeah, is that does he have one of those singing bass things on his
That's what it looks like.
Remember those
Yes.
dumb fish things?
Hey, yo, everybody, check out the Detroit Cast listener business page. It's a page under the Help the Show tab on our website, DetroitCast.com. A lot of you haven't even been to DetroitCast.com. Please check that out. But this page includes businesses that are owned by listeners. Take a look. It'd be great to support the supporters of the show. And this week's featured listings are MyPillow.
Yes.
Get your MyPillow and related bedding products today. Use TDC code for best discount. That's TDC for the Detroit Cast. One pillow goes to South Oakland Shelter for every pillow purchased. That's probably not still in play, but if it is, they're willing to do that in terms of numbers. Also, Peerless Steel, distributor of the finest of steels since 1946. Next day delivery throughout the Midwest. I think we should get a couple feet of hex plate steel.
Yeah, I
or
love
Wells,
that's my favorite.
Wells Durabar, 2 feet of that we can just test on E.
Sure.
The tensile strength.
That's my favorite kind of strength.
Yeah, we'll just
All
test it
strength.
on E's forehead.
Did you see, by the way, the memes are already starting to come in
I saw that.
of
yeah.
E dancing?
Yeah.
I love it. Did you see those E? Yeah. Where they're putting your head on?
Yes, I did.
Fucking hilarious. Hilarious.
Saw him as a star-bellied sneech on a Saturday Night Fever.
Oh,
meme.
brilliant. Love it. Absolutely love it. Now, It sounds like remember we lost some seamen the other day?
Yeah. The USS John S. McCain,
I was
believe it
talking about your closet, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shit. That brings up a good point.
Very good, very good.
That's probably, I don't know why I was going down that road. You're right. We should talk about the SS McCain. They found all the guys that were missing from that boat have now been found. Divers from the Navy and Marine Corps have located all 10 of those sailors who were killed when an oil tanker collided with the SS McCain. 2 bodies were recovered on Friday and the rest over the weekend. They ranged from ages 22 to 39, came from 8 different U.S. states. Cause of the crash is still being investigated. They still don't know.
I would hope they get to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Yeah. God, it's so sad when you look at, like John Hogel, 20 years old from Texas. You see, you don't even realize how just young and smart these guys are that are in charge of running, the military that we have in this country. And it's Jacob Drake, 21, Kenneth Smith, 22, Tim Eccles, 23, Logan Palmer, 23, Dustin Doyen, 26, Kevin Bushel, 26, Corey Ingram, 28, Charles Finley was 31, and Abraham Lopez, 39 of Texas. A few guys from Texas. So I'm sure, as brutal as it is, their families will be glad to know that their bodies were recovered. One of the other topics du jour of late is the Confederates, the Confederate monuments and statues, and it's just a race to see who can be more like inclusive and loving and rip down shit fast as anyone else or faster. And now down south, they've unveiled a new Confederate statue here, a grave. Yeah,
a new one.
They've got a new one for the unknown soldiers of the Confederacy. Several hundred people attended a dedication ceremony for the unknown Alabama Confederate soldiers at Confederate Veterans Memorial Park. I guess that's a decent enough space for it. If you've got your Memorial Park gravesite, and
seems like a decent spot to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. They've got it wrapped, a gate around it, probably so people won't, as easily break it down. It seems like that's something you would have had up a long time ago, though.
Yeah, this might be rubbing it in somebody's face, maybe. Announcing it now, no?
I don't know. They said the groups in attendance weren't white nationalists or racists, but were acknowledging their heritage and honoring Confederate soldiers everywhere. You got Debbie Weir, retired attendee. She said, it's important that we remember our heritage. It's important we remember our history. For those that forget their heritage, we are doomed to repeat it again. Confederate flags were thrown throughout. The ceremony was not planned in response to events in Charlottesville or any of the others. The Alabama ceremony, they say, was scheduled months ago, and the monument was ordered a year ago. But look at this, dude. So you've got Confederate flags flying around, which is kind of odd, but you've also got corn pipery.
Oh, wow.
Look at that pipage.
That's a deep pipe, man.
Yeah. Guy's taken to it.
That's a nice cob.
It is, isn't it?
Fine cob.
It's like ours. We've got a cob like that. The one K-Dog got us.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see it there?
The unknown soldier.
Mother, I have been found and I am home is the quote on it. I imagine people will take issue with this.
That will
at
be
some point.
Splattered with paint and kicked over, probably.
Yeah.
Dude, did you see the VMAs, the Video Music Awards, trotted out some descendant of Robert E. Lee?
No.
Yeah, what was that all about? I'm sure it was...
For real, or was it a joke?
No, they did. I did not see the story. I just saw the headline, but apparently it was, to repent or something.
Did he make it out alive? To repent.
I'm sure it was.
Right.
Like,
I mean,
why
they
else would
wouldn't
the
have him
VMAs
there.
Yeah, they're not going to have him to stir shit.
He's either there to be lynched or booed mercilessly. I mean, or repent. I didn't
Yeah.
think about repent. That's a good one. You got to be
I
kidding
don't know.
me.
We'll pull that on the break, see what that's about.
I did see that a couple people got almost nude. There was a tribute to Bennington, Chester Bennington, by Jared Leto.
As there should be.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if he sang, but he gave a speech, and it sounded like that was pretty cool.
Jared was a primary source in the recent Rolling Stone piece on Chester Bennington's death.
Oh, really?
So they're probably pretty good friends.
Yeah, they probably would have been similar ages, and I don't know if they toured together or anything, but the other thing that they had there, because MTV's got to be so on the front lines, they brought like 6 people who were transgender military people, and just to parade them out there, like, yeah, we're all part of this, man. And I was like, okay, enough, just whatever, great, they're perfect. I don't have a problem with you doing whatever you do. The only problem I ever have with these stories is when it gets to where it affects other people. You know what I mean? Like, the choice of the bathroom. I'm sorry, I know, but that's tough if you're the 0.5% dealing with that. But let's hold on, pump the brakes a little bit. And the military one especially. The military one, it's like, I don't know if we got this all figured out yet. Like a week ago, we were all against this shit. Now, like we're all just jumping in, both feet first. And it's like, hold on, can we get 5 minutes to just show me? How about this? We get one doctor to say that you're actually a woman. How about that? One. Like physically, mentally, you're a woman. Like show me the science behind that, and we'll probably get some emails saying it's there, it is. It's not. You won't find one scientist who will say that's real.
Jesus, what do we have? Distant blood relative of Robert E. Lee publicly denounced racism and white supremacy.
Ooh,
I bet that was.
Can we hear it?
It was really effectual.
No, it's some TMZ.
Oh, he's a reverend.
My name is Robert Lee IV. I'm a descendant of Robert E. Lee, the Civil War general whose statue was at the center of violence in Charlottesville. We have made my ancestor an idol of white supremacy, racism, and hate. As a pastor, it is my moral duty to speak out against racism, America's original sin.
Sin.
Today, I call on all of us with privilege and power to answer God's call to confront racism and white supremacy head on.
Yeah, thank you. Sounds a little light, doesn't he?
We can find inspiration in the Black Lives Matter movement, the women who marched in the Women's March in January.
Yeah, that was a huge success. Accomplished all our goals.
Especially Heather Heyer, who died fighting for her beliefs in Charlottesville.
Yeah, didn't need to. Shouldn't have happened. I'd rather prevent those deaths.
If you look, it says, where is it? The story.
MTV is unbelievable. They're just like ESPN. They're right up there with ESPN.
Look what it says here when he brought out the Heather Heyer's mother.
Susan Bro, sweet last name.
Yeah, it's
Susan Bro, who announced the winner of the Best Fight Against the System Award.
What is that? Is that a music video?
Ended up going to all 6 nominees. What?
It went to all 6 nominees. Oh, all 6 of them got it. Yeah, they've always done that weird categories and titles, but yeah, the Fight Against the System Award, that had to be Beyonce with her Lemonade song. Remember that? Where she came out and people were all pissed because she had like the Black Lives Matter.
Oh, right.
It's got to be stuff like that. Bullfighting. Not big
against
fans.
it.
Against it as
Generally?
Yeah, but like, how against it are you? Would you like be like, this is bullshit, I'm going to put an end to it myself and jump in the ring while one was going on?
Oh, and run up and like knock the matador down and
yeah, like you're so want the bull's rights recognized and save his life.
No, I wouldn't go that far, Mike. I have to
wouldn't
admit.
Either. Maybe we're not. Maybe our belief isn't strong enough. Well, some asshole tried to do that. Didn't go well as you'd think. I mean, and video is now emerged.
Did the guy lay him? Did he just run right through the cloth?
Yeah, I guess he's some vegan. He was there with his chick, and they were sitting down front.
Vegan.
He's like, I can't take this anymore. This is horrible. They sat through a few bullfights, and it was like, I have to do something.
So his goal is to stick the matador?
I don't know if he was trying to tackle the matador. I don't know what his game plan was. I think it was more passion and emotion, getting the best. And instead of just crying in the stands, he had to do something. You want to hit play on that and see how he did? All right.
Here he comes.
And her. Yeah. We're going to stop this.
Oh, no.
Oh, sir.
The bull stops for no one.
You're still here?
He's just trying to help you, Bull.
He wants to be your
Toro.
buddy. And now all these other matadors have to jump in the ring to try and get this dipshit's ass out of here. What did he think was going to happen?
It's sort of like an anti-police guy screaming, I hate police, and then the robber comes. He's like, I need help.
Yeah, right.
It's like this guy needs the matador's help. Wow, he got gored, man.
Yeah, he did. I guess it not too deep, but quite a long one.
That's how that shit happens. Those horns go right through the skin, right up the back of the leg, and
we've
there's
seen
an
it,
armpit.
Yeah, we've seen it go through like your thigh and out the other side.
Hurt. Look how thick that horn is.
Yeah, and it's not easily removed either. But yeah, we've seen some serious scorings. Maybe this is death by bull. Maybe he's trying to do one of those like go out with a bang and make a statement, like I'll make my cause, known. Because if I'm killed being gored by a bull, yeah, I don't know. But so yeah, one of the bulls immediately charged him.
Honestly, what's he think? Just I'm here to help you, bull. Toro,
I'm here to help.
your friend.
I just want to help. That's all I want to do is help.
I come in peace, Toro.
They say the man was extremely lucky to not be that he didn't get seriously gored after he stormed the ring in southern France with that idiot chick.
It does suggest there's some expertise to that whole Matador thing, doesn't it? Because the simple bob to the left, duck the shoulder, isn't going to cut it, man, against El Toro.
Yeah, but he didn't even have a fucking tablecloth, dude. You need the tablecloth. It's all about the Olay. Like, you can't just think you're going to, like, put a Barry Sanders move on a bull. Stop it. You need the Olay moment.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. The protest came shortly after two other activists hung a banner saying, "Stop bullfighting," from a wall in the medieval French town. The man, believed to be a member of Vegan Strike Group. That sounds like a fun group, doesn't it?
Vegan Strike. We're part of the Vegan Strike Group.
Sounds like a happy bunch, too, doesn't it? I mean, if you meet for your monthly meeting with the Vegan Strike Group, I imagine that everyone's just going to be really, really happy. Most of those groups, when they meet, they look really happy with life.
There's a lot wrong with the world, as discussed at the Vegan Strike Group.
And it's up to us to fix it.
One Toro at a time.
And the rest of the Vegan Strike Group. They also carried a sign that said, "No to the corrida. Save the bulls." I guess the corrida is the fighting of the weir bulls, not the full-grown ones. So they were concerned about those as well. Hey, why don't we take a quick break, Jay?
Sure.
And I've got a grievance to air. I don't know if you guys have grievances you'd like to air.
I do.
If you do, we could do
one
that.
that I could express. Isis, grievance?
Maybe.
Well, let's all air some grievances here on a Monday.
All right. I've got a new term to define your personality. We've got so many things, bisexual, heterosexual, cisgendered. There's a new one out now. We'll let you know what that is as well. And we'll do all that next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hi, Michael Kowalski here, fourth generation of the Kowalski meat dynasty. But you can just call me the Sausage King of Detroit. And you know what, my friends? It's time. Time to roll out the grill, crack open the Jack's potato salad, sizzle up some sausages, pass out the pierogies, ice those beers, and unfold those chairs. Because grilling season is here, and it's time. Time to eat like a king. I'm Michael Kowalski, and I approve my message.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
Can I get you guys' names?
Mike and Jay.
Jay and Mike.
Jay and Mike. Welcome back to the Detroit Cast. Look at that dude.
What that?
That's a colony of fire ants in Texas.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that, how they
You
do
seen
that.
Floating on the water.
They all glom onto each other and create a little island.
Island colony. Is it true they're like floating on the dead ants as like rafts?
That's what I've read.
That's crazy.
Taking one for the team, I suppose.
Yeah. Dude, ants are incredible.
They really are.
I hate them, but they're incredible.
They say if they were proportional to us, they'd be like 6 times our strength.
Yeah, at
That
least.
looks to be true as you see one drag an apple core across the ground.
Yeah, I saw one the other day. I'd stepped on one. He was a bigger one too, and this little guy, kind of like a chicken hawk,
came up tough, like, hey, what?
No, he came up and he was trying to like take his buddy like for dinner or something.
Yeah,
he was
sure.
trying to drag him away.
The head, the thorax, and the abdomen.
Yeah, like the guy made
God.
it. You know, he was crushed to death by me, but he wasn't smeared to smithereens. So this guy came up and was like, oh, this looks good.
The circle of life.
It's crazy, man. And then, while I was upstairs, I get this picture of this is poisonous.
Another Houston piece of nature.
No, my sister-in-law sent that from Arizona.
Oh, shit, man.
Yeah.
That's the size of a $20 bill.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Is that Hamilton?
That's Hamilton.
Hamilton.
No, that's Jackson.
Jackson.
Old Hickory.
Yeah. Look at that, E.
Look at that shit, huh?
Shit, dude.
What is
it's
that,
like-
a millipede?
You know what? I couldn't.
It looks like one. I don't know what that's called. It's bigger. It's fatter and bigger than anything I've seen. And she just says,
You know, that's one thing I love about Michigan. I always have.
I know,
dude.
dude.
I had grandparents that lived in Florida and stuff, and it always freaked me out, all the fire ants and the alligators, dinosaurs, etc. I love being able to walk through woods here, being able to walk through a field
Yeah.
and not think you're going to get bitten by a snake, not
Yeah.
being able to put on shoes that you've left out in your garage and
Yeah.
not think you're going to have that in there.
oh, can you imagine? I mean, this thing is huge. I don't know how else to describe it, but look at
Oh, God, it's just...
I mean, it's got like
it's evil. That
it's
thing is
just-
pure evil.
She says, come live in our state. I promise our poisonous predatory bugs aren't that big. And then she says, Gizmo, which is the name of her cat, just got a hold of this guy on the porch. Luckily, I think he was dying and in shock from the poison we sprayed just for these kinds of
That's
invertebrate.
incredible. That is incredible.
Dude, I mean, that, ugh.
It was at the length of a $20 bill.
Yeah.
Or a $1 bill, or a $5,
They've
or a
got
10
yeah, any
bill.
like bill
US
of money.
currency.
Yeah, U.S. currency outside of a coin, it would be. Whether that's $100, $1,000 bill, even a $2. If you set two twos and a one and stacked them on top of each other, it would be the same length. But she set a 20 down on the ground next to this thing, and it's
Big
the same
shooter.
length. Oh, huge.
No, dude, you're so right, Jay. Like honestly,
Yeah.
I've thought about that before about how living in other states. I could not live in some of these warm states for that reason. And I was thinking about talking to my friend the other day. You know, we're doing with the hurricane. We have tornadoes like once in a while, right? Like I mean, I don't even know if we have them every year even. But there's nothing else, man.
Right.
Like we don't have hurricanes.
We don't really have turnpikes or tornadoes
Yeah.
in this state.
We don't have earthquakes. You know,
I felt one a couple years ago.
Okay,
Remember that?
well, you know what I mean. I don't know. It's just
Yeah, it's a good
there's-
place to live, man.
Yeah.
plus when
Not
the
bad.
water situation becomes bigly around the world, we have our freshwater lakes.
That's
of course.
right, E. We're
Keep us
equipped.
going.
Gentlemen, did I hear the word grievance?
I believe you did. Who would like to
Are
start?
we ready to assert our grievances? Isis, did you
No, I
you
do
want a
not
couple
wanna
minutes
start.
to
I'm still thinking.
Okay. Mike, you seem to have one that you're pretty
Well,
excited about.
I don't know if it's that
Oh my
strong. I mean,
God.
I just want to like say right out of the gate, and I don't care if you guys want to shoot it down. I totally understand, but it's one thing that's bugged me for a while.
Should
It
we
happened.
state the general rules of grieving?
Sure.
One member of TDC shall state his or her purported grievance.
Mm-hmm.
She has 30 seconds to do so. At the conclusion of said statement, the remaining members of TDC will pass judgment, either rendering the alleged grievance as bona fide, that's what the grievant would prefer,
Sure.
or the person's just simply being a pussy or being an old man.
Yeah. And I don't know what category I'm going to fall into here, but I'm ready if you are.
Okay, here we go.
I am tired of going to get a sandwich, and when they cut up the vegetables to put in the sandwich, they just dice it all, and then they give you the butt end of a tomato, which is basically just the hard fucking whatever with a little bit of tomato around it, or worse, the banana peppers. The last half end of a banana pepper is dog shit. It's bullshit, and you know it, you see it there, and yet you still let it go into my sandwich. And it drives me out of my mind. Is there any worse bite than that bite?
Let's look at the bright side. At least the sandwich makers these days are wearing gloves. Think about 15 years ago, as these assholes were taking their fingernails and pulling the piece of ham off, the piece of bologna, etc.
Yeah.
So at least they're wearing gloves. Now, to your grievance specifically, you're absolutely right. This piece of shit stuff that gets thrown into the bins and still used is unbelievable to me. Leo's Coney Island is famous for this with their tomatoes.
Yes.
Their tomatoes, they just take them and they cut them like right through the core. They don't core the thing out.
Yeah, bore it out or whatever.
Bore it out, right? And so you've got the whole stem area and everything in every tomato. It sucks.
It's brutal.
And the banana pepper I've had too. You bite in there and you've got the stem and the end there.
It's awful. It's something you would never do that at home if you were making a sandwich.
No.
You would never go, looks good enough. And I don't know if other people are. I'm picky about like fat on a steak. I don't like.
Very picky about that stuff.
Yeah.
One of my prior grievances was fruit. That shows itself as good, but in the inside sucks. I'm very picky about fruit and vegetables and all that stuff.
I'm glad about that because when you start, I'm thinking specifically in this instance, the last time it happened to me was at Subway. And by the time you get everything thrown in there and maybe they melt some cheese on top or throw a dressing on top, it's in there somewhere. I saw you throw it in there. I saw it go in there because I saw it on top.
Picking through, trying to find it.
And it's like, okay, do I just take a chance and see if I can swallow this thing without finding it? Drives me out of my mind.
Yeah,
out of my mind.
Bona fide grievance. Isis, what say you?
I guess I don't know what to say. It doesn't bother me as much.
Doesn't bother you?
I don't really know what you're just. I know what you're saying, but I guess I don't know.
So you're just being difficult.
Would you eat a full apple core?
No, you've seen how I eat apples.
Okay.
I eat just the skin.
You wouldn't eat a tomato core either, or want to eat the stem of a pepper, right?
Right.
So render it bona fide and let's move on.
Sure.
Isis.
And I mentioned the tomatoes. I don't even like tomatoes, but I see that bullshit tomato sitting in those bins.
Yeah.
It's like
I guess
some poor tomato lover's going to fucking get that.
Me.
Yeah.
It's me.
And be miserable.
Yeah. A rare bona fide grievance on two fronts by Mike.
You.
Well done. Isis, are you ready?
Come on, E.
All right, I'll do mine.
Please.
People who overdress / gear up to the hilt for an activity of which they are a relative novice. I've been spending a lot of time on the local trail by me. And I see a lot of horseback riding, joggers, fishermen, hikers, etc. And some examples of the guys that drive me nuts are the guy who goes to REI and gets decked out in his hiking gear to go for a walk down a nature trail. He's got the pants on, he's got the shirt, everything's North Face and all that shit. Or the guy who goes to Bass Pro or Cabela's to get shooting shirts and pants to go shoot clay. In most instances, gentlemen, if you are not performing at a mid to high level in these activities, a t-shirt and shorts suffices. This kind of goes with my Tour de France guy who goes whipping down the neighborhood as if he's in the damn peloton.
Yeah.
And in fact, he's just taking a stroll around the neighborhood. You don't have to get all the spandex on.
Is this different from when you see kids at the high school or even younger middle school football thing where they've got to have eye black and the gloves and the towel?
They're kids. Totally different.
Yeah. They're looking up to someone. Is that any different from that guy? He wants to be like, I don't know who a hero is in the peloton, but they want to. I
don't know what they're doing, dude. I think it's people with too much money who go, I'm going to take part in. I'm going to start hiking this summer. So they run to REI. What would a hiker do? And in fact, you're not really hiking. You're taking a fucking walk down a trail, man. Okay, throw some shoes and shorts on and go for a walk.
Dude, it's so dead on, dude. You're right. All these leisure activities, unless, some of them maybe you're really training. I'm sure there are people out there that are, but the percentage must be so small. The people that go running with the belts with like the water or like the juicers, but like, dude, if you're doing some 5-mile run, you not need a full belt.
You shouldn't even be drinking water at 5 miles.
I know, exactly. I'm sure some of them are going farther, and I don't know their distance.
No problem with the belt if you're training for a marathon.
Right.
I can tell by their legs if they're runners. When I see short guy and he's got calves, I know immediately this guy's not a novice.
That's the thing about runners, though. There are people, dude, that get out there and they can just go. All types of body types and everything. It's really quite astounding.
I'm not saying there's not pro-period runners out there. I'm just saying that when I see the really veiny, like slashes in separation in the calf muscle where they've created
musculature.
a new muscle or something that I've never seen. It's like that guy's not fucking around. That guy's been doing this a long time. He's running from something.
His soleus pops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he's running from something. I don't know what it is.
My thing
but
is
I
not
hope
so
he
much with
figures it out.
runners. I guess runners don't really bother me because I don't really judge runners because
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
guess
dude,
that's
you could be going a distance. I have no idea. I'm just running by you. I'm doing my thing. You're doing yours. But it's the guy and the wife who are walking down the trail at 0 degree, elevation, and they've got the hiking boots on, and they've got their long pants on, North Face.
This is just like you said,
Jumping
people with
off.
too much money.
Yeah.
They're going to go
Got
there.
their little hiking hats on. They're all dressed up, ready to go. Dude, you're going for a walk.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've done that before where it's like, all right, I'm going to get into something new and I'm going to go buy the best equipment, and so I'm ready to go.
You at least do it a couple times. Like duck hunting. When I first went duck hunting, I borrowed some camo.
Yeah.
And I just did the best I could and shot some stuff. I'm like, oh, this is badass. And then I went and bought a few things.
Yeah. Did you get a
But
duck
I didn't,
whistle?
I did not. I did not go to frickin' Cabela's and go get
Buy
decked out and
$800 worth of
right.
stuff just to be like, yep, now I'm a duck hunter.
Yeah, show
All
up
right.
looking like Elmer Fudd.
This puts me in a tough spot here, Jay.
Because you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't.
Activities.
I don't.
That's
see,
the thing. It's focused on activities.
Activities aren't on my plate. You know that, and so when you bring these up, I'm left to
Speculate.
I'm left to widen my rules for how I would judge this, and because your track record is so strong in
So
the
strong.
past. I'm going to have to declare it bona fide,
Thank
even
you.
though these ghosts that you speak of, I've never seen in person. I'm just going to have to trust that you know what you're
This
talking
thing
about.
called a trail I speak of.
Yeah, and so I'm going to have to declare it bona
Well,
fide.
thank you.
I don't know why this upsets you. You tend to be one of those people that just lets people do their shit and you don't worry about it.
I don't know, man, but it's probably honestly because it's the context in which I see it. I'm running and I'm in pain. I'm in
Yeah.
physical pain and I want it to end. And so I'm looking at this guy going, what the fuck, dude? Why are you wearing that? I'm just getting all judgmental and stupid about it. When really it's my
You'll
problem.
see it with you'll definitely see it when you said like the flip fishing, or if you go like kayaking or something, you'll
Yeah.
see that there'll be the guy out there that's fishing and his it looks like he's got $1,000 worth of merchandise on his kayak to go fishing, and he's just in the Huron River, dude. Like I don't know,
You could go to Meyer and pick up a rod and reel,
right? Like what's he
couple
fishing?
fake worms, or go dig up a couple earthworms. You probably just do as well.
That's how Beth's dad does it.
Yeah.
Like, he'll just go out in the backyard, dig a little hole, and pull out 10 worms.
Waltz crawlers, baby. You
Yeah.
guys ever buy Waltz crawlers?
I'm not a
Party,
fisher, so.
party store near you, dude.
I'm not.
Refrigerators full of earthworms. You guys probably don't even know this, but they're everywhere.
I feel like I'm hurting a worm.
I
don't
see
like
'em in the-
putting
I mean,
on
I
the-
see 'em.
I don't like putting them
Isn't
on
that
the hook.
crazy? What a crazy business, right?
Yeah, I see it. You're
Putting
right.
earthworms at various gas stations and party stores.
You notice that all wherever there's lake activity, especially
Waltz crawlers.
Yeah, you'll see those like crazy. But I don't know. I feel like I'm hurting the little guys, and I don't want to.
No, they don't feel it.
How do you know that?
You
Have you
just
ever asked them?
pop them right in half with your thumbnail.
And for all you know, in the inside, they're just going.
No, they don't feel it at all.
Ah! Why would he do that? Ah!
For my pleasure and enjoyment. Because I love that feeling of being able to pull up a fish. Isn't that the greatest feeling? One of the greatest feelings in the
I
world,
don't know.
right?
I never caught a fish.
I'm not going to
worried
say
it.
it's the greatest.
The fish
Okay, I'm not
goes-
going to go there.
The fish is going.
But how awesome. What a great feeling. You feel that nibble?
Face.
You hook it, you pull that thing in, and there's a fish on the end of your line. That's exciting, man.
It is an adrenaline rush when you get that tug,
Yeah.
and it's not just like seaweed.
Yeah,
Like,
and that's why you do it. That's why you snap those earthworms in half. And
How
then
do you
stick them in?
How do you guys fucking know that worm isn't screaming his balls off inside?
I
Or the
just-
fish?
Because I couldn't live with myself if he was.
Because they always say that the fish doesn't feel it. The worm doesn't feel it. How do you know? Did you
As
ask
the
him?
fish is sitting there with a hook through his eye.
Through his eye.
Those are the worst.
I can't take it. I can't take it. All right, E.
Jesus.
Damn it.
Here we go, baby.
All right, I
State
guess
your grievance.
I'm going to go with color-driven sports radio and how sick I am of having hosts that just. Last night I'm driving home and the Mayweather McGregor fight or whatever, and it's just like, so I didn't watch it. Did you? And it's just. It's just a half hour of
I heard
people
the show you're
calling
talking
in
about.
to say whether they watched it or not. And it's like, I don't know why people in this city can't deal with like national sports at night or something. Like we won't. I would way rather talk about sports, like these topics. They just, I don't know. That's
Because
it.
if we're honest with ourselves, we're a bunch of homers. We care
Yeah.
about Detroit sports, but not national.
We do. And I think that's true in a lot of cities.
And
There's no shame in that.
Believe me, all of those sports stations have tried that and tested
I know
it
they
and
have.
failed at at the national
know.
shows at various times.
I just don't get why people care to hear them sound like. Did you watch the McGregor? What do you think about Stafford?
I don't
and
care
45
what
minutes.
Stan from Livonia thinks, you know.
Yeah, it to me it's different when it's sports talk versus like Dave and Chuck. Like sports talk to me, like it's a limited thing that you got to discuss. And if you're stuck doing a 4-hour shift or a 3-hour shift, you need people to give you something, you know, even if it's controversial. Oh, you're full of shit, and then you argue.
And that's what
whatever,
sports talk is all about. It's about sitting at the bar,
know.
debating who's better, who's the best, who would kick whose ass.
I can't help but feel though that it's just lazy as shit radio when it's really strong caller driven. It's like, dude, that's your job. You're the guy that's supposed to be delivering the opinion. You're the one being paid to do it, not Stan from Livonia. But you know, people have made a career on that. Jim Rome, but he's at least opinionated and respected. But
yeah, I know you're
it
right.
It bothers
dude.
me more with morning radio, Dave and Chuck type shit. When it's like, you know, just go to the phones and oh yeah, some guy pissed his pants. Have you ever pissed your pants? Call and tell us about the time you pissed your pants. And then for an hour, you have people like. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just.
I'll tell you this.
Lazy.
This actually hit me.
Radio.
This actually hit me more last week. I used McGregor because last night they had been the same thing, but they had a topic last week. I remember driving home, and it was like political or something, and it was just like, what do you think about, you know?
There's a grievance right there when sports talk gets political.
Yeah.
And, you know, everybody, politics transcends, blah, blah, sports transcends, everything is mixed together. There's a point about that. But, dude, usually when you turn on sports talk, you want to escape from that other shit. And you just want to hear about the Lions and how they're looking in training camp. You don't want to talk about Colin Kaepernick.
Which candy bar would win? Kit Kat or Snickers? Yeah.
Tournaments.
Yeah, they're brutal. The politics ones.
Down goes Reese's Pieces.
Oh, what an unbelievable upset. Who could see it coming? What? Since when would 3 Musketeers beat a Kit Kat? This is an outrage. No way. 5-1. Like, oh, God. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? The sports talk one, though, shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
I'm not sure where I fall on this one, E.
Okay, I'll tell you this, and this is post-grievance. You can don't use this towards your decision, I suppose. I wish I had a car that you know, I could do Bluetooth, or if I had satellite, I would listen to ESPN radio. I love hearing local shit. But, dude, I don't know why. I'm shocked that more people don't once in a while want to hear actual, just real, an ESPN analyst who that's what they do for a living for a half hour, talk about football, versus just Dan from Royal Oak telling me, well, I think Stafford shouldn't get this $150 million, and then John, I think he should. And it's
no offense to Dan or John or Stan from Livonia for that matter.
I know what I was going to say. ESPN has taken a lot of shit, you know, for the Robert Lee decision, and I was watching Jason Whitlock, who is great. I don't know, you know him, the big fat black guy. He was on ESPN for a while. I think he's on Fox Sports 1 now, but he was a writer for the Kansas City Star-Ledger, I think, for a long, long time, and just a smart guy. And he was talking about, you know, this ESPN controversy, and his takeaway was like, look, they've gotten so deep into the political realm, like out of their element, trying to be like super progressives, that they've found themselves waddling into this weird, like, getting into the debate about, you know, whether it's the gay football player Michael Sam or Colin Kaepernick or Black Lives Matter or Caitlyn Jenner, and then making her Woman of the Year, which is hilarious. I heard some people pointing out, like, even with all the women in the world, it takes a man to win Woman of the Year. Hilarious. But he was like, and the fact of the matter is, most of the guys are just not that well informed to be discussing this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, when you get into it, you don't want to hear Randy Moss giving his political opinion on something.
Good
and that's
point.
how I feel. It's like, no, dude, Chris Carter is not the guy, because if you to really do it, and I'm kind of shitting on us because we're not, you know, we take more of a like top shelf, like top of the cake kind of opinion, like, it just feels like bullshit, you know. And we do a little bit of research, but there are people out there that have studied this shit and really understand the political impacts of these decisions. And it's like, you don't want to have just some guy with an attitude, with a platform as big as ESPN. And it's like, dude, Randy Moss catches balls for a living. Like,
well, that's the thing. What's your product? You know, I think people were coming to this channel for sports, and it's gotten into this weird thing of politics for sure.
And I'm certainly not saying, oh, they're not bright enough to deliver or to have an opinion. It's like, their platform is huge. They're paid to discuss this. that's what they're expert in. Like we're all, well, some people are expert in a field, and it's like you go to them for their expertise in that field, breaking down routes, why this route was cut off short, and why it was wrong. Like those guys can answer those questions with absolute knowledge and authority. That's what you're going to them for, not about why Colin Kaepernick is. It's like, dude, these social issues are not where you're good. So I don't know. I thought it was a good take by him. Anyway, back to E's grievance.
Yeah, what do we do with it? Is he being a pussy?
Well, I'm definitely going to declare it pussy and old man for sure. That said, I think he's got some bona fide points there. I feel like we've talked about this, though, so I don't know if this is another half-stolen grievance. But
I know it verged on that. I guess my distinction on why it's different than the other one was this one was very specific to sports radio, and the idea that this guy is getting paid at 97.1, and all he's essentially doing is going, hey, man, did you watch McGregor or not? Call me.
And the point is a good one because that guy specifically hadn't seen the fight.
Right.
And how do you work on that station and then bring that up as a topic and want to talk about it and not see the fight?
You can't be serious.
No. Well, it's what he said.
He's doing a talk radio segment,
said, look,
and he hasn't seen the fight.
I listened to the same segment as
Who was it?
I don't remember his name.
I can't either.
But he was like, look, I said all the way through this thing, I'm not watching this. I'm not being sucked into it. I think it's bullshit. I don't think Conor McGregor has a chance, and so I'm boycotting.
Sure.
But then he brings it up as, okay, I didn't watch it. Did I miss anything? Like, was I wrong to not watch it? People who watched it, how do you feel? Were you duped? Were you not? Do you wish you would have watched it, those who didn't?
He's going to play the Larry King card and just go, I'm going to be completely in the dark on this topic, and then I'm going to learn together with you. We're going to learn together as you inform me about what it is.
I guess I don't know.
Lazy.
I don't know what to expect from 97.1 when it's literally 24 hours local coverage. So I know what are they going to do at 2 in the morning? What are they going to do?
Yeah.
I guess I get it, but man, you know, it's not one guy doing all 24 hours. Can you not have? I don't know. Just the idea that he's getting paid to do radio, man, and that's
inexcusable, dude. It's inexcusable. Like that, there are times when this job of hosting a show becomes a job where it's like, I don't want to do that. I think that's bullshit. But you know what? It's in my category of what I discuss. And even though I think it's bullshit, I know everybody in the listening audience is going to have watched this. So I have to fucking man up, go to a bar if I don't want to pay for it, watch it, and then be able to talk about this with people. It's just inexcusable that you would go, oh, no, I'm going to check out on this.
I did.
Yeah, you did, but you're not a sports talk host. Like, I mean, I'm specifically talking like if you're hosting a sports talk show and you don't watch that fight
watch
because
the Super Bowl,
dude, no, sorry, no. So what did you render it?
You know, I'm gonna go pussy and old man.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Hey, got to tell you about the Hamlin Pub. They have 5 locations: Clarkston, Chesterfield, Rochester, and 2 in Shelby Township. Hamlin Pub offers a wide selection of craft beers, most of which are brewed right here in the great state of Michigan. They have great happy hour specials Monday through Friday, 2 to 6, and half-off appetizers on Monday. Check out all of Hamlin Pub's specials at all 5 of their locations. Check out hamlinpubs.com for more info. And don't forget, September 16th is the day. Come see us at Hamlin Pub 22 and
Hayes
and Shelby
Township. That's going to be a lot of fun, man.
It is going to be a lot of fun. When are we going to tell them exactly what we're doing?
Well,
we still need to flesh that out a little bit.
Yeah, we do. We do. We need to flesh out exactly how we want to present it.
But it's definitely interactive.
And all we were saying yesterday was like, look, it's start reviewing TDC history and dig deeper than, you know, stuff like what shave pattern did Nana have in her bush?
Got to know more
like,
than that.
Everyone knows Nana. What's the name of Izzy? You know, what's the nickname of Izzy? It's going to be deeper than that. Did you notice, by the way, our grievances tend to all, like, mine involve food somehow, yours involve, like, activities outside, and E's revolve around media when he's listening in his car. We have very specific things that tee us off.
We don't find our grievances find us.
That's right. Good point. Look at this asshole with a book over his face.
Who's that?
Well, yeah, he's in jail for life. He's a male nurse in Germany, and
a nightingale.
Yeah. Well, he was thrown in jail for life for killing a couple of patients with a drug overdose, lethal drug overdose. And now they're digging back into his past and other people that died like on his shift, and they think they've identified 84 other patients who they need to take a closer look at that may have died the same way. His name is Niels Hogel. He's been jailed for these 2 murders of intensive care patients at the Delmenhorst Hospital in North Germany. Yeah. He's got that over his face the whole time. It's like, dude,
We know his name. We know your name, dude. We can look up your name and find you in other ways. This isn't gonna be.
Okay, find another picture of me.
Okay, maybe I will.
So now they're saying they found evidence of these 84 other murders, which would make him one of Germany's worst ever serial killers. But the reason he did it is what gets me. It's not like he's putting people out of misery or this and that. I just wanted to be a hero. He wanted to send people into cardiac arrest so he could resuscitate them, and so the doctors would think he was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, I mean...
He's there on the scene, ready to go.
Yeah, Niles, at your service, here to save the day. And he put them too far under that they just actually died, and so he's like, yeah, I think I put 90 people under, and 30 of them died. But
we didn't mean to.
Those other 60, I felt like a real hero, making cakes for me and stuff.
Oh, what a dick.
Oh, sir. Yeah, he says he really, really enjoyed the feeling of saving someone's life, even if it meant killing 2 to save 1. Investigators were also examining an unusually high number of patient deaths that occurred at a second hospital where he worked just prior.
There he is.
Yeah. There's old Bookface.
Fine-looking gentleman.
Just wanted everyone to think I was the shit with my life-saving skills. Several hundred additional files of deceased patients are now being examined. Managers at both hospitals are being questioned because they think, maybe there was some culpability there. Like, dude, people keep dying on this guy's shift. How did you not see this? A pattern emerging.
He's trying to change the subject with that hoop earring.
Yeah,
look at my ear, not my face. Look at my ear. Look at my ear.
Did he have a little pig nosery in him?
Yeah.
Is it more bulbous or piggish? I mean, it's kind of stuck in the middle, isn't it?
It is stuck in the middle. A little bit of an upturn, but bulbous for sure.
Yeah. It's like someone punched it right in the middle and it just stayed there.
Yeah.
He's got to do something about those bags under his eyes, too. It's putting 10 years on him that I don't think are there.
I agree.
Yeah.
Oh, and happier days.
Yeah.
Look at his hair.
Oh, God, he thinks he's the shit.
Look at those locks.
He's still got the hoop earring there, too. You
does.
get that? Even 10 years earlier, he was rocking that shit.
Does he have a black turtleneck on?
Of course. Hell yeah. That was a day.
Dieter's Dance Club.
It was probably when Jobs was first, taking a stage at Apple,
He has him tucked into an unbelted pair of jeans.
Yes. And a pair of tennies. And he was just a huge Jobs fan. There were probably a lot of nerds walking around with the closet,
Jobs look.
The closet full of the Jobs, which is just a black turtleneck. Even a Dickie. I don't know if that's a Dickie he's got there. Probably just goes Dickie in the summer.
Walking around with a T-shirt and a Dickie. Hey, everybody, please use our affiliate links, especially our Amazon link at DetroitCast.com. You'll see links to Amazon and Groupon. Many of you shop on those sites, and we are happy to have partnered with both through affiliate programs. You'll find great deals through both Amazon and Groupon. Please enter through our site, through the links that we provided. Back to school time, it's a great time to jump on Amazon and buy your stuff there. Again, you can find those portals to Amazon on our homepage at DetroitCast.com.
By the way, have you ever worn a Dickie?
No. Oh, you have. Why would you have worn a Dickie?
I don't know, dude. I was young. It was... Here's the
Under what circumstance?
I don't know. Maybe going to school or something one day, in junior high or maybe early high school.
Jesus, you're familiar with the Dickie?
I believe I do.
Dude, it's a turtleneck, and then it comes down into a square, so you're not wearing a full shirt.
It's if you
It's
want to
just for
stay
that
a little
sweet turtleneck look.
Yeah, which was a hot look. You got to admit, in 8th, 9th grade, that the turtleneck made an appearance, and it was sometimes
the really
it was just a
fly
little
guys
hot.
then had a gold chain coming
Oh
down,
hell yeah, yeah,
and a button-up sweater from Chess King
with their Z Cavaricis.
Hell yes.
It was big back then.
Gerbeaus.
I stand by Gerbeau.
Big K Swiss shoes.
Here's the problem that I ran into with the Dickie. Oh, I can't
Got your
believe I'm saying
mullet.
this.
Dude, the thing about the turtleneck, though, would go right under your mullet,
Yeah,
right?
it was kick-ass,
Had a way
dude.
of just pushing that and
Popping your
fluffing
mullet.
it.
Yeah. Oh, you know what I'm talking about.
I do know what you're talking about.
Especially with someone with colics like mine. Here's the problem. I had a white one. I had a white Dickie, and it was not like the one E's got up on the screen here, which would have worked better. I had the one that was just squared, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point in the day, the back part of the Dickie popped up through the sweater and was just hanging out like a cape,
man.
like I was wearing a cape, and I didn't know it. And then it was like,
That's
man.
like toilet paper coming out of the back of your pants.
It's
or something.
almost worse, yeah, dude. Like the long string of toilet paper hanging off your shoe. Yeah, it was humiliating, man. Because I mean, the point of the Dickie is to let everyone think you're wearing a full, turtleneck.
What? For what purpose? I guess. I mean, so you're not as hot.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I guess. I don't even know. I don't think I would have bought it. It was probably something my mom, I know you like turtlenecks. Just wear this. It was 1/3 the price.
You love the look of the turtleneck, but you don't want the heat.
It was one of those thicker white ones too. I mean, it really did its job. But it made the mullet pop. It really did.
Well, I'm sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
The whole running up your back thing. Mike, before I get to email proper, I do have a few posts I'd like to engage in the reading of. This is a beautiful post. Now, this might be the most picturesque post that we've received. That's a German castle, Mike.
Holy crap, that's beautiful.
That's so crazy when you look at those castles, man. Like, they legit, those aren't just things from fairy tales. They had castles.
Neuschwanstein.
He says on the back exactly what I thought. I thought Disney Castle.
Yeah.
He says this is believed. It's also said to be the inspiration for the Disney Castle.
I almost said, is that the Magic
something?
Kingdom? Because it totally looks like sort of Disney.
Settled into
sure.
the Black Forest of Germany.
That is stunning.
J. Mike and Isis, love the show. And look at the penmanship. Can I commend John's
exceptional.
penmanship?
Absolutely gorgeous.
I mean, nobody's going to
gorgeous
misstate a word here. J. Mike and Isis, commas perfectly used. Love the show and still listening every day while I'm over in Germany for work. Facts. The Neuschwanstein Castle started construction in 1869 for King Ludwig II of Bavaria, so that he could live in isolation. Unfortunately, he died before it was completed. It's also said to be the inspiration for the Disney Castle. Ciao, John. It's beautiful.
Stunning.
It's almost like a drawing. I can't
wonder who's living there now.
Yeah, I reckon it's open for tour and such.
Wouldn't it be kick-ass, though, if there was just some guy named Uwe, like, bought it years ago, got a sweet deal on it?
Hey, staying over in Europa, Le Moulin Rouge.
Sure.
It's a cabaret founded in 1889, right, 20 years after the Neuschwanstein Castle started construction. This Moulin Rouge is, of course, famous worldwide for its French can-can and the red windmill on the roof. And what was the movie, of course, was that Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman, was it?
Oh, Moulin Rouge?
Yeah,
that
musical
was
kind of deal.
Kidman. I don't know about Ewan McGregor, but I'm not going to argue
Pretty sure
that.
it was Ewan McGregor.
Probably right. Beautiful.
It is beautiful. And this is from Mike. Just a quick note from Paris again. Finally found a card with a fact printed on it. Keep up the good work. What you do is appreciated. Looking forward to listening to poems on my way home tomorrow. Bye for now. BUI. Thank you for posting in, everybody. Everybody's enjoying it. It seems many people are enjoying their vacations without us.
All over the world. Not many staycations. Nope.
Yeah. BJ writes in concerning... You get it?
What does blowjob have to say?
BJ writes in concerning Big E saving lives. I work on a construction site, and some dumbass bird built a nest on my new machine. Mama bird is very protective because there's a baby in the nest. She eyeballs me anytime I get near the ladder to a platform where I work, and she swoops in on me while I'm climbing. That's dangerous, and as much as I hated to do it, I decided I had to destroy the nest so that Mom would leave.
Oh, no.
But when I got near it, I looked down at the baby bird, and all I could see was the big eagle staring up at me with those dead eyes.
And his eyes are fathomless pits, black holes that no light can penetrate or escape. Nothing lives in those eyes.
Then Walter's Proop's voice pops into my head. Hello, friend. Nice to meet you. Why are you being such a bitch, Mom? This nice man just wants to say hi. And I couldn't do it, says BJ. Instead, I will spend the next 2 weeks searching the sky and ducking. So congrats to Big E. His charity work is saving lives with SOS. And it saved one little bird in Iowa.
Thanks, Big E. I owe you. What are you doing all the way up here, friend?
Dude, those big eagle pictures. Oh my God. I came across those the other day.
Gross.
I love that shit. I know. Well, you know, they're exciting to me.
Yeah.
Came across those the other day. I love the ones of him just with the little babies in there. They're all fluffy and white. And there's Big E.
His glasses.
Sitting amongst them.
They're awesome. Absolutely awesome. What is it with birds, by the way, that do that? Get all puff-chested, like, get away from my nest.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I don't want to fuck with your nest. I just want to walk by the same place I walk by every day in my yard.
Yeah.
You're the fucking intruder. Don't act like I'm an asshole. If I start, like, coming, like, at you and
gross.
You know, yeah, that would be. But if I start, like, making some signs that you're in imminent danger...
Yeah.
You know, by all means, flap away and be a dick face. But if I'm just walking by, I'm not even looking at you.
Well, he's taking action to prevent that. He's trying to intimidate, you know?
Dude, I don't want your fucking babies. Relax.
You ever mow the lawn and have those sparrows come whipping around at you? You know what I'm talking about, E? You spend a lot of time mowing. You ever had sparrow nests in your
No,
yard?
I haven't
Dude,
had
these
those.
motherfuckers will just whip around you and come right by
Wow.
you. And,
Really?
Yeah, trying to get you to stop. Like,
No.
Why,
chill, man.
What are they not like the noise or something?
No,
of the
again,
mower?
it's to your point. They're trying to get you away from a nest.
My babies, my precious babies.
Mike writes in concerning a butcher shop. Hello, Diet Water, Twinkie, and Pork Chop. I know you guys aren't an advice show.
No.
But I need some help, says Mike. My wife works at a rural butcher shop. Like the real deal. Bring in your hog, get some handmade potato salad, handmade jerkies, and the like. This place is like out of the 50s. Imagine a shop with a Cheers feel. Anyway.
Wait, you bring your hog in and they murder it for you? Is that
Dude,
what he's saying?
They butcher it for you.
Holy jeez.
Anyway, every Friday I call and I ask for something dumb or awkward, like pickled rabbit feet, smoked cow panooses, and the like. Recently, my well of ideas has dried up. I need some fresh ideas. Hence, I came, gross, to you guys. Please help.
The teat of something.
Yeah, the teat of a hog.
What do buttholes render?
How about a groundhog hog?
Not bad. I was thinking the teat of a teat mouse, but I don't know if they have those.
Ooh, the tufted titmouse. Yeah, not sure. How about the hoof? The hoof of something. Something cloven hoofed.
How many cloven hoofed animals are
I
there?
don't know, sheep, goat, cattle,
Okay.
deer.
Yeah.
Several cloven hoofed animals.
Yep.
As distinguished from the single hoofed horse.
Sure. Good point.
Squirrel nuts. You could ask for squirrel nuts.
Yep.
I'd go groundhog hog.
I don't know how big that is. That's such work. It's such tiny little work.
A pickled little hog, though?
Yeah, it'd be kind of tits. Yeah. Yep.
Just pickle that son of a bitch up.
My suggestion is the tit of something, and if there's, I don't know if there's anything you can do with the butthole or the canal itself, the anal, like thing. I would go that route.
Yeah, an ass or a vagine.
Well, the buttocks is probably already taken. The buttocks is like, isn't that tenderloin
The
type
idea
shit?
of calling up and asking for a hog's vagine.
Pork butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, a vag. Like, what are you asking for? You asking for the sheath? Like, you want this thing unsheathed?
I think they're going to call the police if you ask for a fully sheathed vagine, like, because you're going to take it home and maybe,
Pickled vagine.
Yeah, that's what I would ask.
I mean, we're just spitballing here, Mike.
Yeah, for sure. So, E, you want to go in there and tell me, bring your horse in and go, I need the horse's vagine, please. You can keep the butthole as well intact. Take both of those, thank you. Put them in a box.
Exactly.
Do you guys sell lube?
We'll save the rest for tomorrow, Mike.
All right, let's get out of here. And thanks, everybody, for hanging with us today. What else? We gotta work on Mick Wall. So I was like, what do we have to do? And hopefully we'll get some more details about our upcoming event in September.
Oh, it's going to be
Excited
worth
about
attending,
that.
though. Put it on your calendars.
Yeah.
Just figure it's going to be great.
You know,
and
in
we'll
Michigan
inform you
State,
later.
Michigan State doesn't have a game that day, and Michigan is at noon, so you have no reason not to be there.
Yeah,
Exactly.
It's a great point. I was going to put that in our post too, but that's a good point. E, we specifically were like dodging certain dates and finding the right one so that it didn't interfere with like big football games.
But I
and
know
stuff.
it is wedding season.
Oh my!
So I know we'll lose some people there.
We've actually got a couple events coming up that I'm really excited about. There's going to be some fun coming up in the very near future. So this is the first of it. Put it on your calendars. And with that, we'll call it a day. We'll see everyone tomorrow.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.